Mhm. Do, do, do. Lord. Do, 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 do. Hello, troll. Outnumbered. How we be doing? And all the good stuff. Oh, shit. Oh, me. Hello, hello. Where is my. Oh, try here. Oh, man. Wait just a few minutes. I was going to try to do something, but I can't remember what I was doing. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Didn't work too hard today. I didn't do shit today. Not a damn thing. That's a lie. I ran around and did a couple things. Cooked supper. Yeah. Katie, Nikki, Sherry, Angie. All right. I hope we get some phone calls. That'd be cool. I hope I get some phone calls. That will be really cool because I'd like to hear from different men and see what their viewpoint is on men's mental health. Probably a lot like mine. More than likely. Oh. So what's up? How is everybody? Yeah, I ran errands. Life 360 tells on me. Tells on me. Oh, man. Gotta have some fucking music. It's too quiet in here. All I got going on is the freaking air conditioning. Oh, but anyway, no, I wanted to talk tonight about some of the stuff that men deal with on a day to day basis that we don't share with anybody, and we don't air it out there, and a lot of times it does more harm than good, and trying to finally realize that. I'll just be honest. It, Men are fucking hard headed on certain aspects, but where we're not hard headed at is when we've been pushed and made to feel like we need to be quiet. You know, I'll give you an example. So, say I come in and I want to have a conversation, and what I'm talking about is not supposed to cause an argument, not supposed to make you feel any type of way, but it does. But then I get backlash for me expressing how I feel. And see, people should be able to express how they feel without any judgment at all. It doesn't matter if that other person likes what you have to say or not. There shouldn't be any type of judgment anywhere. So a lot of times, and I know women go through it also, but a lot of times when men go through it, we shut down. We will completely pull away from anything and everybody and not say another word. And if we do say something the next time, it's probably going to be in a negative kind of manner. And it's just because we've been flipped over to defense mode, and that's all we know. Growing up, you get told to suck that shit up. You're a man. I don't want to see you cry. And a lot of times, not just for me, but for a lot of men, if we did cry, we got smacked or some other type of punishment. But yeah, so we're kind of conditioned that way our whole life. We're supposed to be the strong one. We're supposed to be the provider and the muscle and the I don't know, whatever you want to call it, the builder, the person that never breaks. But unfortunately, a lot of us break and nobody ever sees it. We slowly break every single time something happens. And by the time it gets to the point to where there's nothing else to break, unfortunately, it can really go bad. And that's when you start getting suicidal thoughts and disappearing thoughts. I went through my share of that um, as early as last year. I didn't want to be around anymore. I felt like, me personally, I felt like my entire world was crashing. And then when I figured out that it wasn't crashing, um, I realized that it was basically building me. So I'm not going to go into too many details about what happened, but oh my god, this commercial! Hold on, I'm not going to go into details um, because it's really not important at this point. I've moved past it. What happened happened, and fuck it, I'm over it. But for a long time, I was made to feel like I needed to change everything about me. Change this, change that. What you're doing is wrong. But then I got to thinking, there's a reason why you wanted to be there in the first place. And it was the same person that I've always been. So I didn't need to change anything. I just needed to revert back to the way I was. And that's what a lot of men should do. They should look at it that way. Don't feel as though you have to change to fit anybody's fucking narrative. Not at all. There's a reason why people want you around. There's a reason why people call you friend, and there's reasons why you get in a relationship. It's because you are you. Don't fucking change that for nobody. I'll never change for anybody ever again. Never. You can accept me the way I am now and continue to watch me grow and build, or you can simply walk away. I don't give a fuck. And I think that women and men both should have that kind of attitude. If you want my truth, if people aren't going to bring anything but negative shit into your life, fuck them. Whether it's friends, family, co-workers, who it is, fuck them. You know the old saying, let them, let them, let them fucking walk. Let them hate. Let them run your name through the fucking mud. Just let them. But men men struggle with a lot of stuff every single day. We take the weight of the world on our shoulders when it comes to work and kids and making sure we provide enough and bills are paid and we're good employees. And because the thing about it is, if we lose our job or we're not up to par as being an employee, then that takes away from our kids and our family, and that causes even more stress. So, we struggle with the fact of being a protector. We go out and we scan the room. At least I do. I scan every room that I walk in just to size myself up with whoever else is in there. I look for a threat. I look for a way out of that situation. And it's part of the conditioning that men go through as they're growing up. And the really sad part about it is this. If we show any type of emotion other than aggressive, we're called weak. But if we show emotion in an aggressive manner, we're called abusive. So, I'm always told that I've got that asshole face and I'm unapproachable and people have trouble coming to me to talk to me. I get that. I do. And that's because I've always had that mentality of wanting to be on guard all the time. But at the same time, I've been accused of being abusive. Or that guy looks like he would be just an asshole, abusive piece of shit. Well, so it's kind of confusing at times. It's like, do I need to present myself this way? Or do I need to show, or do I need to present myself as being weak? So then a whole lot of confusion comes in on men. It's like we don't want to be labeled as an asshole or an abuser, but at the same time, we want to put out that don't fuck with mine. Do not fuck with me or mine, and we'll be good. I went through this also. You know, a lot of men get into situations in relationships or even friendships and unfortunately deal with a ton of narcissism, a ton of it. So then when we start to wake up to the fact of such and the manipulation that goes on, by the time we reach that point of knowing, we're already pushed to the fucking edge as it is. Between all the stress of being made to feel like you're not good enough, you're not wanted, you're not needed, you're not loved, your stress level is up here. So then you just get pushed a little bit further. So what do we do? What do we do? We react. And a lot of times we react in a negative fucking way. It's not that we want to. It's not that we necessarily mean to. But we're so goddamn sick and tired of not being heard that the only way to be heard is to yell. But then we get that abusive label. But see, nobody looks at what pushed us to that point. Nobody looks at, okay, what did you do? It's always the blame, pointing the finger. And people know me. People that know me really well know I went through that shit. Sure did. But I don't know, it's crazy. That whole looking at men as they're weak for not talking pisses me off beyond belief. I don't even know how to comprehend that, because I talk all the time. I'll tell you exactly how I feel. I used to be more reclusive with that just because of shit that I've been through. But over the past few months, I've gotten a little more outspoken because I've been pushed to that fuck you attitude. I wish a lot more men would get that attitude. To be honest with you, I wish it would be, fuck you. You'll either hear me or I'm going to cut you out. And fellas, if you're watching and you're listening, I'm not telling you to be a complete fucking prick. But what I am telling you to do is stand your goddamn ground. Stand the fuck up. Even, like I said, friends, family, coworkers, it doesn't matter. Stand your fucking ground. Don't worry about getting labeled as a fucking abuser. If you're being treated a certain way by whoever, speak up. Fucking tell them they're being a shitty human. Same as women. Speak up. Don't keep that shit bottled in. And believe me, when you start doing that, the liberating feeling that you get is unbelievable. I'm probably now in the best mindset I've ever been. That's pretty sad after 48 years, but it is what it is. So, I don't know. Let me look over here and see what everybody's saying. Situation broken, but not allowed to show that. That is fact. Yeah, I do. I sit with my back on the wall. I got to have my back to the wall. I got to be facing the door everywhere I go, because I watch everybody that comes in and out of the room. And what's even worse than that is I watch if I find one guy in there that I feel could be a threat, I watch him the whole time. I will analyze everything he does. I know it's bad, but that's something else too. Something else that I've noticed lately is there are a lot of men. I mean, if you want to fucking call them that, I'll just go ahead and put it out there. There are a lot of men out there I've seen out with their families, out with their kids, or just out with their significant other. And they are so tied up into themselves and tied up into their phones or whatever it is, they have no clue what's going on around them. Not a fucking clue. And I guarantee you that is the same fucking man that goes home every day wondering why his old lady doesn't want anything to do with him. Probably is. Or why he goes home and wonders why his kids don't want to hang out with him. The level of unaware of your surroundings that I see everywhere I go, it just makes me shake my fucking head. Jesus, what are you talking about, dude? Shut up. Get off my phone and shut up. Man. But hey, I said on my video that I put out, you know, men can call in, uh, can call a toll free number. Women can call in too. If you wanna speak and say something, feel free to call. I mean, it is what it is. We're talking about men's mental health, but you know, it's open. I hope everybody's having a good Monday. See, I get on these rants and I just let it roll and I just talk and I don't watch the chat, which I apologize for that. But sometimes I just got a lot to say. A lot of times I got a lot to say. And no, I'm not drinking anything inappropriate. I'm drinking sweet tea. Inappropriate. Why is that considered inappropriate? I mean, if you have a drink every day, it's better than eating a handful of pills or shit like that. I don't know. I don't know. you know, uh, I was looking at a bunch of stuff online the other day, and they talk about how a lot of times women outlive men. Whether it's in a relationship or whatever it is. But if you think about it, I can see why, though. I mean, men tend to, and I'm a prime example of this, and this is why I can tell you this. We tend to not take care of ourselves, but want to take care of everybody else. We, you know, I'll just use me. I'll go all day and won't eat. Uh, I wake up getting full of nicotine and caffeine, and that's what I run on all day. When I get home, I cook. I don't, I don't, I don't concentrate on me very much, and it's because I want everybody else around me to be okay. I want everybody else's life to be what they want it, not so much perfection, but I want them to be good. Like my kids, I don't want my kids to ever want for nothing, and they don't. My friends, I want all my friends to be good. Um, and that tends to cause, it causes us to forget about ourselves. So we ignore things that are going on with us. And then before we know it, it can be physically taxing and mentally taxing. But it is. That's why they were saying that's why a lot of men, pass before their wives do, because they work themselves into the dirt to make sure everybody's good, which isn't a bad quality. I'm not saying it's bad, but I think if men were allowed to talk more about them and about what's going on with them, it may ease that stress a little bit. Because, excuse me, because I've had days where I've gotten off work and I've had a million thoughts in my head, but you don't really, you don't want to talk about it. And let me ask you this and see if you can give me some insight on this. So if I've got something going on, okay, and I don't want to talk about it, but it's something that is bugging the shit out of me. Why is it that myself and a lot of men get aggravated? Hello, my name is Adam Ferrari, when Chief Executive Officer of Phoenix Energy. I look forward to you we're kind of pushed to talk, you know what I mean? Drill deeper into our 9 to 13% annual. What's going on, Ace? See how our company is. But yeah, I've noticed that if I have something in my head and it's something that I probably should talk about, but I don't want to talk. You see what I'm saying? It's like a whole conundrum there. It's a whole mind fuck, I guess. What the hell was that? Sorry. Yeah, everything's good, Ace. We're talking about men and kind of what men go through on a day to day. And yeah. I also told everybody, Ace, if somebody wants to call in on the toll free number, it's the 877 SINAO for you. Feel free. If you want to call in, we can talk and discuss why men go through what they go through and what they go through. Speaking of which, I hope you're doing a lot better, brother. I hope you're doing a lot better. But no, the shit gets confusing sometimes. And it's, you know, I did a video the other day where somebody had commented on one of my videos about men's mental health. And it was saying that the comment was along the lines of, well, men aren't the only ones that go through that. I understand that. I'm not trying to take anything away from what women go through because women go through a ton of shit. I get it. But statements like that is why we shut down. Statements and comments and attitudes like that make us shut down. And then we're the fucking asshole if we don't talk. And that goes right back into what I was talking about earlier. Men always get the finger pointed at them, but nobody wants to talk about what somebody did to push them to that point. You know, I don't know. Self-accountability with a lot of stuff and a lot of people would make a world of difference. Oh, hang on. Somebody's calling. This is Platt.
What's up, brother?
What's up, man? What do you know?
Not much. I just wanted to be your first guest. You know, I'm selfish that way.
That's all good. That's all good. So
But no, what you were talking about as I left the call, you know, that's the thing is people think you are taking away from what they're going through by talking about what you or other guys are going through. It's like, no. We're not trying to take away what women go through every day, but we're all of us guys who keep our head down and keep pushing forward are tired of living in silence. Like we're supposed to be strong and nothing ever bothers us. Well, it does. We just don't talk about it, but that's where the problem comes in.
So do you think that? Well, let me ask you this: do you think that comes from? Is it a societal thing, or is it how women are brought up? And I'm not saying just women, because men make it to where men don't want to talk either. But is it how you're raised, or is it conditioned from society that way?
Well, I mean, Jella's just as bad as I am. She doesn't talk when things are bothering her, at least not most of the time.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to get her to open up as well, so she's as bad as I am. But there's two things at play. First of all, for the woman who made that response, either A, she's going through some stuff, or B, she's truthfully part of the problem is, well, you're guys, you're supposed to be fine no matter what.
Yeah.
Or C, she's showing slight narcissistic tendencies of, oh, no, pay attention to me.
Yeah.
And obviously A is the only good possibility is, she's going through some stuff and just, needed to find a forum for her, and sorry, this isn't it. As far as with guys and with women, I can't answer that question. Me and you've had long conversations about it.
Yeah.
I was raised, you can be happy, you can be mad, but those are the only two acceptable emotions. So everything else I'll lock away. And I don't know if it's true or not, but I always had the mindset of especially if I come to the person I'm married to or, previously dating or all that, and I show that vulnerability, they're going to either A, use it against me because some of the women in my past have, or they're going to look at me differently. And I mean, that never really happened, but it's in my mind. Whether it's accurate or not, our mind is our worst damn enemy half the time.
See, that's where my my mind comes into play, and a lot of times it really fucks me hard. Is I'm a real bad overthinker, which I've been conditioned to do that shit, but I don't know. I wish men were allowed to open up more. And
Yep.
I honestly think that if we were, that it might actually help on both sides of the spectrum, men and women, because it would help women understand where we're at, and it would help other men gain that strength to be able to speak up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And as far as overthinking, trust me, I'm right there with you. I told Jelly years ago, you got to trust an overthinker when he says he loves you, because we've already thought of all the millions of ways that it can go horrible and blow up in our face and rip us apart.
Yep.
But if we have done all that and we still love you, then it's obviously real.
Yeah. I know myself, I'm waiting on that shoe to drop. I'm waiting on that thing to pop out in the closet and be like, well, here you go. So yeah, I overthink the shit out of everything.
For the first 3 years at least that I was with Jella, I was always expecting her to leave. I mean, every day I expected to come home and her be gone. And it was just my mind messing with me, because let's face it, y'all have seen me, y'all have seen her. She looks way better than I do.
Come on, Ace.
And
Ace. You're a
also,
pretty man.
There's also that aspect of thanks, I'm a pretty man. There's also that aspect of, because I'm stuck in my head for so long, and because I've had such bad relationships in the past, I never really felt like I deserved anyone who was going to be there and be true. I've always figured I just got to make it work with whoever's willing to stay.
See, I think that's a huge part of it. Is you get made to feel like you're not good enough for so long. You honestly start believing that shit, and it's, I know because Jella has expressed her feelings about this several times. I know there's women out there that have been in your inbox and said you're a good looking man, and people have told me that. But I look in the mirror and I'm like, no, I don't know what the hell you're looking at, but it's not, it's not because I don't think I am. It's because I never think I'm good enough. If that makes
The
sense.
only great things about me are parked in my garage, and it's twin Harleys.
Oh,
But no, it's the stigma that guys are placed in to where we can't open up, whether it's true or it's just our perception, doesn't change the fact that it's real to us. So therefore, we, we'll open up on good things, we'll open up on happy times, and unfortunately, when, there's an argument going on, we'll open up there.
yeah.
But as far as coming to them and going and showing that vulnerability, it's just such a problem to where, and I mean, Jella tells me, you're stronger when you show that side. And I'm like, I don't see it. I want to step back and call myself, well, a few names.
Yeah.
We'll PG it and say, quit being a little wuss.
Yeah.
But, suck it up, be a man, move forward. You're indestructible. Nothing affects you. When the truth that every man knows is everything affects us, especially the overthinkers in the group.
Yeah.
Because God knows we have seen every dark outcome, along with every positive outcome. For every situation we go into, we see all the possible ends.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's something that just seeing that scares the hell out of you. And you want to stop it. You want to, how can I control it and not get to the dark ending? How can I get to the happy ending? Well, not the massage parlor type. But it's, how can I get there? What can I do to control it? And then realizing you don't have any control over it. I mean, we all have some. It's a relationship. We all have some control.
Yeah.
But, people fall in love, people grow apart, all kinds of weird things happen. And you can do everything you can to help stop it, but that don't mean it's a guarantee, which is why we've always seen the good and the bad in all situations. Yeah.
I think a lot of times men are their own worst enemy. We
always.
I know you've been through your level of shit in your life, and I have, and we sometimes we can be labeled as overbearing or overpowering, and it's just because of the sick, sadistic, evil shit that we've lived through or seen.
Yep.
We don't ever try to be a controlling asshole. It just reverts back into that protective side of us. And
a lot of it is honestly because, like I was just saying, you see the possible bad, so you're trying to grab the rudder and make sure the ship is steering towards the good outcome.
Yeah.
Well, by you taking control like that, you're walking a thin line, and it's real easy to end up coming across as overbearing and controlling, and it's not intended. It's just the unfortunate, when you see all the angles and you're trying to control the situation, when really, how many things in this life can any of us truly control?
Yeah, absolutely.
I can control my reaction to a situation, but I cannot never control anyone's actions. And that's when you cross that line to overbearing, when you're trying to control their actions.
You want to know? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, you want to know what the hardest thing for me to understand is? Is I have trouble. Okay, I have trouble, say, talking to women about my issues, and you know, I'm not going to say anything about what you and I talked about, but it took you a minute to open up to me.
Yeah.
So what is confusing to me is we know this goes on and we know this about each other. How are we so good at giving people advice, but living that advice, there's like a wall there? I have no
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah. I have no clue. Yeah, I'm the first one to tell my buddies, listen, if you're going through something, I'm going through it too. Call me.
Yeah.
Come by. Stop by at 3 a.m. and knock on my damn door. Granted, I'm going to have a gun in my hand when I open it, but when I realize it's you, I'm going to invite you in.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if it was 3 a.m., I'd probably sneak out of bed, leave Jella sleeping, sit out here in the garage and, go through a pack of cigarettes and God knows how much drink or whatever for the evening and just, try to quiet the demons that are always there. And I've always been there. I'm the first one that, I don't want to bother anyone. Even if it was a reasonable time, it's 5 o'clock in the evening. No, they might be eating dinner. I don't want to bother anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's 8 o'clock. Well, they're probably getting ready for bed and kind of winding down. I don't want to bother anyone. And that's where all of us guys is why we lose so many. Because, I don't take the advice. I tell all my friends, listen, I'd rather you disturb me at 3 a.m. than wake up tomorrow to find out that you're not with us anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've read a whole lot of stuff and been researching a whole lot on men's mental health here lately and trying to read about what goes on with me. And you brought up something about demons. We all deal with our level of demons. What is the best advice that you can give somebody to deal with your demons? Because I know what I've had to do, and it may not work for everybody else, but I don't know. What's the best advice you can give as far as that goes?
I failed more than I succeeded controlling those demons. Jella has heard me try to drag someone out of their car who I didn't know. And they pissed me off in traffic, and I happened to be fighting those demons that day.
Yeah.
I can tell you the things that have worked best for me, luckily enough, isn't substance. It isn't, alcohol or anything else. The things that have worked best for me is going to the gym, lifting till I can't move my arms, standing in front of a heavy bag and punching until my hands are almost broken and swollen, or 120 miles on a Harley. And I don't mean 120-mile ride. I mean 120 mile an hour. Don't give a fuck where I'm going.
Yep, I agree with that one.
Those are the three things that will, be. And honestly, sometimes I'll sit down and I went through, the time period, but I went through about a month where I'd come home from work, I'd finish work, and I'd sit there and play video games.
Yeah.
And the motorcycle and the video games and the punching bag actually work the exact same way. I shut my mind off while doing those activities.
Yeah.
Because on a motorcycle, I'm focused on the ride, especially at felony speeds. Same with video games. I'm focused on opponents or whatever I'm doing. Punching bag, I'm just letting everything out, but at the same time, because I'm doing something like that, my mind isn't active. It's all, it's all just at that point autopilot.
So I wonder.
And because my mind isn't actively working,
yeah,
then that means in the back of my head, those situations are starting to be thought about almost as a reflex.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Huh. So I wonder how many times, and I got a couple things I want to say, and then we'll see where this goes. I wonder how many times, because men have been pushed to the point to where they feel like they can't talk about what's going on in their head and fighting their demons. I wonder how many times that has turned into a DV situation, for one. And do you think the one thing that I've preached for years is to make a change, you need to change it in your home. Change it with your kids when they're young and you can teach them. I just wonder, I don't know, I just wonder how much of that comes into play.
I'm hoping a lot of it because, well, the second part, not the first part, not a DV, but I bet the odds are high that it's, a man or woman fighting their demons and lashing out at their partners. Because, they always say you hurt the one you love the most. Well, there's a reason. That's the person you're around, and that's the person you know the best.
Yeah.
But as far as the future generations, I so hope. I have all daughters, so I haven't had to deal with it personally, but I so hope that the guys that are raising the young men right now are not beating into their head, sometimes literally, that crying is not okay. Being sad is not okay. There needs to be more of a normalizing, showing emotion. And that it doesn't make you weak. That you can still be the same person that will, throw hands in a heartbeat when it's called for, but you're tough in those ways, but you're able to open up and show that what's bothering you in the softer side and your true mental and emotional health. I hope for the future that is happening.
So see, I've always told people raise your boys how to be men and raise your daughters not only how to be women, but what to look for in a man. So I wonder if we worked on kind of like what we're doing now, worked on getting men to open up, getting more men to find an outlet for that aggression. I wonder what the numbers would be as far as changing DV situations at home.
Well, some are still going to fall into it for whatever reason, whether it be substance, alcohol, mental, whatever.
Yeah.
But I bet a lot of them would. Now, the other aspect is looking at the high occurrence rate of those that were raised in a home where there was DV between mom and dad. How many girls look for guys that treat them the same way their abusive dad treated their mom? Because that's what they learned was normal.
Yeah.
And how many of those boys that watched their dad raise a hand towards his wife, how many of them grow up to do the same because that was normal? Women had a place. And, breaking that cycle is huge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have a buddy he was raised by a very abusive dad, both to the boys and to his mom. And his thing is from about 17 on was, I'm succeeding in spite of, not because of. And Mickey is truly succeeding. He's a phenomenal dad. You know, a good partner for his old lady. And, you know, now his brother went the other way initially and then dialed it back. And he actually quit drinking, and that helped tremendously. But, you know, it's breaking that trend. It's breaking that pattern that goes generation to generation to generation.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's the big part. But if guys felt more okay with opening up and expressing their feelings, then they may not get to that point where it was just, you know, bottled up rage because they're hurt and sad, and all they know how to do is turn that into anger.
Yeah, my boys know they can call me anytime. They can talk to me about anything. I don't allow them to sugarcoat stuff. If they, whether it's girls or whatever it is, I want to hear what's on their mind. You know, and after Dad passed last year, I come to realize that my dad was a part of a lot of my demons, and because I found out a lot of stuff about my dad afterwards that I really never would have thought of. But you know, watching my mom go through everything she did after my dad, and then my dad doing the crazy shit he was doing, a lot of that I took and did just the opposite because I didn't want to be that abuser, that manipulating piece of shit. I didn't want to be all that. I wanted to be there for my kids, be a man the way it's supposed to be. And hopefully my boys and my girls, when they get old enough to be in an actual relationship, they'll carry that on. But I'm with you on that. I believe it. All that starts in the home. It has to.
And it's the old mentality of might makes right. You know, we heard it as a kid. It was because I said so.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what that boils down to is, I'm bigger than you, I'm stronger than you, and this is my house.
Mm-hmm.
So because I said so is the only explanation you're going to get. Now, I will say, like when my daughters were young, because I am tall, I'm, you know, a pretty good sized guy.
Yeah.
I would squat down and get eye to eye level with them and drop my voice to a softer tone and, you know, say, all right, honey, I need to know what you were thinking, and I want to know what got you to that action. And everyone, oh, well, you're trying to be their friend. No, my kids know I'm never going to be your friend until you're at least 21 years old. I'll be your friend then. Right now, I'm your dad. But I didn't want to tower over them and raise my voice and be like, oh, you're going to do it now because look how big I am. No, I want to hear their side, and then I'm going to explain to them, this is what I'm telling you need to do. This is why. The end result's the same. You're going to do this action that I was trying to tell you to do, and you were mad and going to go slam your door. That ain't happening. But I have sat down and I've had a conversation with you, not towering over you and not yelling and screaming, because I don't want them to find a guy later on that does that to them as a spouse or partner.
Yeah. See, I have caught myself, and I caught myself the other day. there was a situation that came up with my oldest daughter, and the thing that had happened, it wasn't that I was it wasn't that I was so much pissed off at her. It was pissed off at the risk of her safety. So what that
Oh
did,
yeah.
you know how that is as a dad, it put me into a I'm going to kill a motherfucker mindset. And when I was having the conversation with her, I was coming off really brash and um, really out of pocket. And when I caught on to it, because I noticed that she started to shut down,
Hmm.
and I caught on to it, and I went back and I said, you know what? Let's try this again.
Yeah.
So I took a breath. I knew it because it didn't have anything to do. I mean, it had something to do with her, but it wasn't her putting herself in danger. It was somebody else. So
Right.
you're right about that. Take a few minutes, especially girls, and breathe. You know, they'll be more apt to want to look for that person in a partner. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
So
you know what? The reason why I developed the way I handled my daughters, and I'd like to say that I would have handled a son the same way. I don't know.
yeah.
I like to think I would, because that's truly breaking the pattern right
Hmm.
there.
Hmm.
But you know, the 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 hardest thing I ever saw was one time when my daughter did something. I can't. Yeah, she did something she really shouldn't have done,
Yeah.
and I. She was storming down the hall, and when she turned around to slam the door, I was standing in it, and I saw this panic and fear,
Yeah.
and not the oh, I'm in trouble fear. I mean true fear.
Right.
And I instantly had to take a step back. I said, I'll walk in her room with her, and I sat on her bed and I said, come here, sit down, let's talk.
Hmm.
And but it was that, seeing that in her eyes, that she was terrified of me in that moment.
Hmm. I know exactly what you're talking about because I did that to my youngest son one time, and I can't remember what he did. Um, it was something I should have got on to him for, but it didn't constitute, being a complete asshole. But um, I had pulled up at his mama's house, got out, and just commenced to ripping him a new ass. So when I saw that I was breaking him, I stopped. That broke my heart. I stopped,
Yeah,
and
same.
me and him sat down on the steps of the porch, and we talked. And he the next time he did something, he kind of expected me to go off on him, but I didn't. And when he saw that I wasn't going off on him, it you see a whole different light turn on in that kid.
Yeah,
And that's you're right. That's that stigma, and that's where it all needs to begin. Is we need to change ourselves as parents when it comes to raising the next generation. If we expect a change in the next generation,
right. And the thing is, I'm not saying coddle them. I'm
hmm,
not saying, you know, be overprotective and the helicopter parent. I'm not talking about any of that.
yeah,
I'm saying still let your kids be kids. Let them play.
hmm,
But when they mess up, give them room to mess up, knowing that they're
yes,
going to.
yep,
Because God knows we did.
yeah, yeah, we did.
And and when they mess up, put the anger on a shelf for a moment, even though you're going to be feeling it. And that's one thing that after that night with my oldest, from that point on, when I was that angry, I'd look at her and say, I need you to go to your room. I'll be in just a minute.
Yeah.
And I'd step outside, I'd smoke a cigarette, I would calm myself. because, yes, she's going to get punished for it, but I need the punishment to fit what she did and not overreact and not tear her down as a person, because I want to build up my girls.
Yep.
Because I have said, hey, bottom line is, I hope every boy parent out there is treating their boys how to treat a woman, because I'm teaching my girls what to expect and how to throw a punch.
Well,
You know what I mean?
My oldest daughter, she's going to be the one that calls and says, "Dad, I need you to help me clean up a mess." Not, yeah. She will throw a punch or a frying pan or whatever she needs to.
And I'm sorry, there's times, here's the thing. As my dad used to say, the only fair fight is the one you walk away from, the one you win.
Mm-hmm.
Use anything. Hey, you're 5 foot nothing. He's 6'4". All right, baseball bat to the kneecaps. He's suddenly shorter than you.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking about just what we were talking about. If you come in hot with your kids, and everybody listening can apply this or tell somebody, if you come in completely hot and out of pocket with your kids, the moment you do that, everything that they got in trouble for or were getting in trouble for disappeared. The only thing they're concentrating on is the fact that you are ripping them a new asshole and almost belittling them for what they did. They're not going to concentrate on what they need to fix or the problem that or what they did to cause you to come in there. They're not even worried about that anymore. They're worried about the angry demon that's in front of them. But like you said, Ace, you've got to let your kids fuck up. You got to let them go experience shit, and you can't be a helicopter dad or a mom, because if you do, it's gonna turn out really bad. It's gonna turn out.
They're gonna be sheltered and protected and not know that this world sucks.
Yeah,
it's a cruel, mean, and dirty place.
It is. It is.
And you got to let them know. And the other thing is, and I was just thinking this as you were saying it, that if I come down on my kids and just completely rip them a new one for small things, I mean, big things at the time, but small things in the grand scheme of things, then when they're 16 years old and they're at a friend's house and they're supposed to be home by 11 o'clock or whatever the curfew is, and they've all been drinking and they can't get home, are they going to want to call you? We don't want them to call us.
Yeah.
But are they going to want to? Because you're the monster that ripped them apart for minor things. This is a big one. This is drinking, underage.
Yeah, I agree with that. If they're expecting to get their ass reamed, they're not going to call. They're not going to tell you anything that goes on with them ever again.
Exactly. They're going to shut down.
Yeah.
And they're going to learn to be more secretive and more sneaky. And that's when your kid's going to try drugs or get drunk or get pregnant. And, they're not going to feel safe coming to you at all.
So then you know what that does. As they get older, that turns right into what we were talking about. They're not going to want to talk to anybody, and they're going to expect the worst case scenario out of every conversation.
Yep.
Every time. Every time.
Guaranteed. It's bad that, for future generations, it's the parents right now, if they don't break how they were raised with the statements of, I'll give you something to cry about, or that was the big one in that household. I
Yeah.
grew up in.
Yeah.
Or parents that just absolutely were, whether it be mentally, emotionally, or physically abusive. If we don't stop that and start, letting them mess up, but knowing that when they do, they can come to you, and yes, they're going to be in trouble, and they don't want to be in trouble, but they know that they'll be safe.
Safety is a big
Give these
thing.
kids a place to be safe.
Yep. Safety is the big key word. If they don't feel like they can open up, they're going to go down some dark roads by themselves that they really shouldn't. So
And but as far as the generation that are parents now, and the guys that are out there, whether they're parents, married, single, whatever, we have to get rid of that stigma. And I don't know how to do it because it was drilled into our heads every day.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I think if we keep pushing it and talking about it and trying to reach out to whoever we can, I think that will help. But until we can get every single household to heed to what we're talking about, it's gonna be a consistent battle, just like it always has been. So I don't know.
If we can stop, the people who find themselves at the end of the rope and unable to open up and not knowing who to open up to,
Yep.
whether it be their buddies, which, let's face it, every one of the guys I know, our relationship is built on, we're going to ridicule you, we're going to make you feel stupid, and you're going to do the exact same to us.
Yeah.
It is a back and forth, a constant, and that's just how our relationships are built. But at the same time, I hope, the friends that I have know that, you know what, I can also be serious. I can sit down when you truly have a problem and it won't come back.
Yeah.
Because that's different. I'll ridicule you about stuff that didn't happen or stuff that happened 20 years ago when, you left a bar with someone who, your bike was really hauling ass that night and it wasn't moving fast.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But, we'll ridicule you about that from 20 years ago. But, you come to me with a problem, it'll never be spoken of again.
I can
Because that's different.
I can attest to that one. Me and you have talked about some things, and I know they haven't left your house. So
No, and trust me, Jella has. When I made that call to you, she had beat me up for about 3 days, saying you need to go ahead and call him. You need to go ahead and call him. That's like, but and I've tried to get better at opening up with Jella, and I fail as often as I succeed, honestly, because there's always that voice in the back of my mind saying, oh, that's good. Open up. Why don't you shed a few tears? And then she'll look at you for the rest of your life like you're a puss. Like you aren't a man that deserves to be with someone.
Yeah.
And that's what's running through my head. So, guys out there, if trust your spouse or your significant other, your old lady, whatever situation it is. And honestly, if they prove that they're not trustworthy, then hey, at least you found it out and you can move on to someone else.
Exactly.
But if they're there for you when you're hurting and when you need someone, great. That you got a real one.
Yep.
And the other side of that is, if you're not quite to that point where you're ready to open up to your old lady or whatever, all right, we all have, like, out of, I've got a lot of acquaintances and a small number of good close friends.
Mm-hmm.
And out of those good close friends, I probably have 4 people I can call and I know that I can open up to, and they're going to be okay with it, and they're going to help me through. And they know the same about me. So we've got to get to that point where, as a whole, all of us have at least that one person that you can come to, and you can open up and be yourself and just, play yourself open and say, this is what's going on.
I also think it has to be. I think it should be somebody outside of your norm. Like, of course, your wife or your girlfriend or whoever is supposed to be there for you. And I know Jill is there for you, but there's times where you've got to have somebody outside of that normal circle to be able to talk to. At least I do,
Because let's face it, if you actually have a good, healthy relationship with someone,
mm-hmm.
and you're going through something, they are too.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So by reaching out to someone, like when I reached out to you,
mm-hmm.
it's someone I can tell the situation, and they're an outsider. They have a different viewpoint because they haven't been living through it for years.
Yeah. Yep.
Stella said you told her that she was going through something too, and she argued with her. Said, "No, I'm not." "Yeah, you are, because he is." And it's true.
It is.
Because let's face it, if it's a healthy relationship, if one person's going through something, you both are. Be honest.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because you're the other, your other half can feel what you're putting out. If you're acting out of pocket, or your attitude has changed and you're quiet and you're shut down, they're definitely going to feel that.
Yeah.
So.
And they probably, at least, they may not know your feelings on it, but they know the situation already, because you've at least told them about that in most cases.
Yeah.
They just, you told them kind of just the facts and left out any feelings or emotion that are attached to those facts.
Yeah. Exactly.
But that's why I agree with you. It's great to have someone who's outside of that can give a fresh perspective and look at it. And especially if you know someone who's been through something similar.
Yeah, it's like a non-biased opinion about it.
Right.
You don't. A lot of times I've seen that a guy's wife or whoever, she's gonna kind of be, how do I put it? They're not going to go against what they're saying. They're not going to give an opinion that might not be popular. You need to have that person that's willing to give you that unpopular opinion if that's what you need to hear at the time.
Yes, that is true.
So
if it's a situation where it's absolutely like, oh, well, you're looking at it just from your perspective, but if you look on the other side, you got to take into account this, and this, to where they can start gaining some understanding of the other side, because their emotions have kept them from actually looking at the other person's opinion.
Yeah.
Well, let's face it, there's always two sides to any of those situations.
That is fact. Well, man.
Yeah, it's been good. I'm just so you know, for the record, and I know you've asked recently, I'm coming out of the darkness. We're to a light gray now.
Well, that's good. Well, I'm here.
Always same to you, brother.
I may be busy as shit all the time. I've got so much stuff going on right now between this and work and trying to get the book going and some other things I'm working on. I may not appear to be here, but I'm here. So if you need me, you got my number. You can call me.
Absolutely. And the same goes for you. And anytime you need help with any of the stuff you're working on, we're all busy, but you know what? I'll help out in any way I can.
All right, brother. I appreciate it. I appreciate you hopping in here.
Hey, it was easy. It was like we're just having a call on my end.
Yeah.
You're the one that's on screen.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how to do and I know there's a way, but there's something.
Want to do like a guest type thing or whatever?
Yeah, like a multi-screen deal. And I think there's something that a link that I have to give the person that I want on here, and then they have to sign into it. And I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah. Hey, you're new at this. You'll figure it out.
I'll figure it out.
I'll let you go, and I'll keep listening.
All right, brother. You come back anytime.
All right. Love you, brother.
Love you too. So yeah, I'm gonna cut this one off, and I hope everybody gained a little bit tonight and learned a little bit and kind of see what men deal with and what runs through our noggin sometimes. Before I close this out, I want to show y'all these stickers. They are Truckers Against Trafficking stickers. You can go to any police department, any DOT way station. You can stop your state troopers that live in your town or patrol your town. Get these stickers and put them on your vehicle, put them on whatever in the fuck you want to put them on. But I picked up a bunch of these. I've got a stack of them. I want to hand them out. I've got a stack in my car. I got a couple in here, but go by and get these stickers. Go by and get these stickers. But anyway, next week we are back to dog walking pedos. So yeah, stay tuned for what's coming. I'll put a video out. I'll let you guys know what we're going to talk about. And yeah, we'll see you next week. I'm glad y'all came in. Hope everybody has a great week. And I will talk to y'all later.